Hey guys, today we're going to be installing a backup camera on a Mazda 6 Atenza. This method can be used on any models from 2009 till 2013. We're using a JVC DVD head unit, which is an aftermarket unit. This whole process should take approximately 20 minutes. Um, you can start off by lifting the handbrake first. I'm going to be doing that very shortly, and then pull up the cup holders first. Once you start to pry open the plastic snap-on pieces, continue on the same method until the AC dials. Uh, just the AC fan dials. That's as much as you want to go. Then you can continue on. Just snap off these plastic moldings. Just kind of rush through this over here. Just do it up till the fan dials. Now, guys, this piece over here that I have. This is basically a aftermarket piece as well. This is just clipped together by a plastic piece. There's no screws over here. So you might have something that has screws, but this one that I'm using does not come with screws. It's just plastic snap-on pieces at the back. Um, so we're going to be removing this whole piece over here before. First, actually, we're going to get rid of this piece here. Um, Remove that carefully. This can easily break, so just remove this AC fixture first. Once that's out, now we're going to remove or just loosen this a little bit, and then we're going to come down to the rest of the moldings at the bottom. Before getting rid of these moldings, just put your shifter down to neutral. Oh, and one more thing. Behind this, the power, the auto start, sorry, there's a wire at the back. You don't want to be removing that wire. So you're not going to pull this whole fixture off completely. There's airbag wires at the back, and then there's auto start wires at the back. You don't want to remove that because we're not going to really pull this whole fixture out. We're just going to loosen it. So we're shifting the knob down to neutral. We have enough space just to kind of loosen this up. And then once this is loosened up, now we're going to remove the DVD unit or the head unit. Now let's get back to the wirings over here. What we're looking for is the reverse gear signal wire. In this case, we have the purple wire over here. We've already snapped open the copper wires from here. We use the wire tool basically. So as you can see, the copper wires are out. What we're going to do is we're going to connect this cable here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Sorry guys, just okay, so in the meantime, you know what, let me show you this. So this is the red wire. This is the wire that comes with the camera. You have your yellow RCA cable there. The red wire is just popping out of that RCA cable. So let's go ahead and what we're going to do is we're going to connect the red wire. So same thing, we use the wiring tool, got the copper wires out, and we're going to connect this with the reverse gear signal wire. Now we're going to use the heat shrink tube 3x16. We got it from Home Depot, $3.50. Pardon me guys, this came out upside down, but that's the heat shrink tube. We're going to basically use we didn't really use it as much. One of them was used over here, so we just cut it in half. We're going to put it through the wire first before we connect the copper wires together. All right, so here I'm just connecting the wires together. And once these copper wires are connected, we're going to put or wrap the heat shrink tube. Now these they basically require some sort of heat, just to get snug there and shrink. So we're using a flaming lighter. Quite honestly, a torch lighter would have been much better. The flame kept coming up just in the angle that we had. It wasn't much room to work with. So if you guys have a torch lighter, probably better to use that instead of the flaming lighter. But either way, we got it connected, and then we used the electrical tape to just go over that. So made it nice and secure there. All right, so once that's connected, the reverse gear signal connected with the yellow RCA cable, the red wire coming out of the yellow RCA cable. We're going to connect this RCA cable to the RCAM port of the DVD unit. Uh, Once you connect that RCAM port, that's it. We are all set on this side. So let's see. All right, so we're snapping everything back again now. Wiring is completed. We can snap it back just in the same order that we removed it. Slightly put this DVD unit back, and then we're going to put the AC vent fixture back. Snap it in place. And we're putting the moldings and everything back. Okay, so guys, there's a way to just bring the wire out from the back and then down below here, and then go across. But I mean, you know what? This is not the method that we use. We actually took it from the back of the glove compartment. So it's very easy to remove the glove compartment here, and then we're gonna bring it onto these plastic trims over here. Uh, so this is the method we chose. Underneath that, there's all the wirings going in the back by the manufacturer. We just followed that route. So to get this off, just press on remove the hook first. There's a hook on the side over there. Just remove that hook. And then we're going to press on these two tabs on the glove compartment. And that's it. It just comes off pretty easy. Just put that on the side. So here's our black wire that turns into the RCA cable. Guys, from experience, you know what? Leave some wire here. At the end, we ran into issues with connecting the RCAM cable, the yellow RCA cable, into the RCAM slot or the port. So leave a little bit wire here so you have some tug, you know. So here we're gonna do is let's remove these plastic trims or moldings, if you will. We're gonna pass our wire through this. We're gonna follow this port. You know, this is where the manufacturer has all their wires going at the back. We're just following our black wire or making it just go through the same route. Now to do this, we had to remove all the plastic moldings, and we're just snapping them off right now. And then we're going to remove this rubber seal as well. Now there's a plastic underneath this belt. Um, we're going to remove that plastic from the back, but before we can remove the plastic, we actually need to remove the back plastic molding first. So we're going to be removing that, and then we're going to go, so it's not the top part, it's just the bottom plastic. This is what comes off. And the wire is just going to follow that route there. So right now this is on the right hand side at the back passenger side. We're removing the plastic moldings. Here's the wire. We brought it discreetly, as you can see, through the seat. And now what we're going to do is drop the seat from the back. There's a lever at the back in the trunk. So we pull the lever and we drop down the seat. Once the seat is dropped, just move this seat belt on the side, and we're going to remove this corner piece just enough to pass the wire through. You don't have to get the whole side corner piece out. You just want to remove it enough to push the wire through. So here's the wire. We're going to make it pass it through that hole there. We taped it together with the other wires. And this hole basically leads to the trunk, the right corner, which is covered by the cloth. I'll show that to you right now. So once we remove this, this is where the wire is coming out from. So we're gonna bring the wire until basically the it's parallel to the slots on the trunk, so that we can just get it through. And once it starts to get through, we're gonna just basically pull these wires all the way to the corner. Be careful with these metal holes, guys. This is really sharp. You can cut your fingers with that. Yeah, so we're gonna continue on. Now this part over here, so this is the seal, the rubber seal in the trunk section. We had to poke a hole basically to get these wires out. This is a little challenging. We're gonna basically bring the wires from the back through this rubber seal and then up to the trunk. So we're gonna remove this rubber seal first. There's a plastic that's holding that's in there. So before removing that white plastic, you have to remove that rubber seal first. Now to remove this plastic, there are basically clips that you can press. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. These clips are holding this plastic piece connected. So if you're using a screwdriver, you probably want to be careful not to scratch the surface, and that's how the rust starts. So once you've got this plastic removed, we're gonna do the same at the bottom. We're not doing this in this video, but the same goes for the bottom piece as well. And this is the wire that we're gonna bring it through into the trunk. Let me get these pieces off as well, and we'll get this cloth removed from the trunk. So this was a very tight fit. We couldn't get the wires through, so that's why we have to poke the holes. There is no way you can get the RCA cable through that tight, snug piece. So best way was to just poke holes, bring it out, get the wires through, poke another hole on the top, and get it to the trunk. So yeah, so this is the piece, the bottom piece. So from the other side of this piece is where the wire is coming in from, and from through the top part of this piece, the wires are going into the trunk section. So we removed all the clips, and now here's the wire. This is the RCA cable, the end of that RCA cable, just the same cable that we brought from the front to the back. Now these 2 cables are the ports that's connected to the camera. We To get to that, we have to remove this whole panel over here. We're gonna get rid of that whole panel. Let's take the lights. These are the license plate light switches. We'll remove that. Guys, be careful with this edge. It's actually very sharp. This will cut your hand. So if you have gloves, wear them, or just be careful there with that metal part there. There are 5 bolts holding the panel together. So these are the 5 bolts, 10 millimeter bolts. We're going to remove those bolts there. And then once the bolts are off, you can remove one of the license plate lights. That plastic will come off where the camera is. The license plate lights has to be removed so that we can put the RCA cable through and then bring it to where we brought it, right? So this is where the RCA cables are going to go through. Without removing this, we cannot really get these RCA cables through. They're too thick. Now this red cable is a power cable that came with the backup camera. So what we did was we cut the wire, and we removed the insulation, and it had basically a red wire and a black wire. Now what we need to do is find a power source for it. So what we're using is the reverse gear light. So the reverse gear light is the light basically when you put your gear on reverse. This is the light that lights up. So when we need to use a voltmeter to find out which wire is positive. In this case, it was this green one. And then at the back, there's a black negative wire. So what we did was we basically pierced the insulation of that green positive wire, and we just connected the copper wires together. The red wire on the camera RCA was the basically the positive, so we connected that to the green, and the black was the negative, so we connected that to the black reverse gear light. Now, guys, you don't want to cut the original reverse gear, wires. You just want to pierce a hole into them until the copper is exposed. That's all you want to do. You don't want to cut them off. These are the original wiring. Let's not cut them off. And then once that's all connected, we're gonna pass the red, RCA cable, the power light, to the next end. Now here you can see that the red wire, there's no black negative, so we just connected the red wire to the green positive reverse gear light. This you can find out with a voltmeter once again. And now we brought the power RCA, to the side. Now we're just gonna connect them together. And then here we go, we connect the yellow cables together. So here we have established the connection. Make sure to put the electrical tape on all the copper wires wherever there was wire exposed. Just cover it up with the electrical wire. You can solder as well, but yeah, so both ends need to have the electrical tape, and then just tuck them in with zip ties, and yeah. Now remember this piece, guys, just make sure that you put the rubber seal on top of the plastic first. If you put the plastic in, you cannot put the rubber on it. So just make sure just cover the plastic first. Once the rubber is on, then you can put the plastic in. Here we're going to be putting silicone, to make it waterproof as well. That's the purpose of this rubber here. It makes the module waterproof. All right, guys, here we have it. We're gonna test the backup camera now. Let's put the car in reverse, and here we go. This is the backup camera in a Mazda 6 Atenza.